welcome to the show. This is Wes. I'm rewatching a video of me painting this reference photo on the left of some koi goldfish in this pond. And this is an interesting one. I think I've painted goldfish before. Very colorful, keep it slightly abstract. Creates kind of a fun painting. This one, for most of the way through, I wasn't confident that I would even finish it. I had to kind of make a decision to keep powering through, to trust myself that I can finish it and make it into something that was worth keeping. So I'm starting off. I started off with kind of a tone canvas with blue, a little bit of texture to it, but nothing much, and just started in with these shapes, somewhat goldfish-like shapes. They're not exactly going along with the photo, but that's what I was kind of using to get some of my cues for the shapes and the orientations and colors and whatnot. So, this is still the first stage of the painting where I'm filling in just the basic shapes. Not a lot to speak of other than I'm just wanting to kind of fill the whole canvas. Kind of spreading out the colors throughout. So here's the first part where I'm back from, the first part is dried, so I'm now going kind of back over, reasserting the brighter spots, leaving the darker spots to become shadow areas on the fishes, for instance. Another reason this type of image is difficult for me to wrap my head around, I guess, is I kind of have a bias toward paintings with a strong center of interest. So anytime there's an image that's kind of, it can be interesting and a lot of movement to it, but it doesn't quite have a center of interest, I tend to lack confidence in the painting process. Again, it's that bias within me that if it doesn't have a center of interest, then it's more like wallpaper. Not that wallpaper isn't art of some kind, it's just not the type that I'm going for. So it just makes for me, makes the painting more difficult to get to a place that I enjoy what it's becoming. So now I'm going back into the background with some darker colors, some dark blues and browns and blacks. Finding those shadows. Again, just trying to make the painting work. Anytime when I get lost in a painting or it's not working out, I kind of go back to basics and just try to make the painting look more like the reference photo. That becomes kind of my focus, the thing in my head that gets me back on track. If I notice, the background isn't dark enough in areas, well, then that's the next thing I can do is darken those areas to get it closer to the photo. There's definitely a bit of trust involved that it will come around in the end, because sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get through this whole process and you've been working on it for hours, but it's just not working, and there may come a time where you just decide, okay, this one just doesn't work, and you have to kind of forgive yourself and paint over it, start over, do something else. Spoiler alert, this one worked out in the end, I think. Okay, this is after another drying session. So now I'm going back in, and then the photo, I recognized there was a lot of reflection with the water, the waves, and just the refraction of light through the water. So I'm kind of adding that back in. Plus it kind of looks a bit like seagrass or, other aquatic shapes, so to speak. So I'm adding that in, hoping that will help out. Again, it gets back to that wallpaper feeling, though, where there's no center of interest, and which simultaneously makes it look more like the photo, but also pulls me back away from that ideal in my head of having a center of interest. But not all paintings have that. Not all art needs a center of interest, and that's just kind of something that, I don't know, I kind of need to get past sometimes. So here I'm, again, not too happy with the way the painting's going in my mind, and I've pulled out a China marker, which is just a wax pencil, and I'm just kind of going back over areas, trying to find some kind of interest in the painting. I find this a quick way to add detail, or the semblance of detail. Just the pencil marks kind of just create instant, your eye might see it as places, where the sunlight is hitting, or just a clarifying mark on the canvas. And I'm a bit overdoing it, but I know I'm going to come back with paint and paint over a lot of it and downplay a lot of the pencil marks. I think maybe I have a black China marker there as well. I'm kind of doing the same thing with. It's kind of my midway point to mess up the painting again so that I can return to fix it, hopefully, in a way in which it'll work ultimately. And I think this time around, as I'm returning to paint with a smaller brush now, I think I'm starting to, feel the energy of the painting. Starting to think it's possible that it would work at this point. But still, I don't think I was 100% confident in this one yet. Obviously, just using white or very light color here, just to find everywhere where the highlights are, where the white spots are in the painting. I decided to go ahead and add little dots and circles throughout as well. Kind of, going with that idea of just making it lively. If it's not working, let's try something else. That's literally what was going through my head at the time. In fact, as I recall, I left the painting at one point and came back again and just thought, well, it works as kind of a confetti. So I think I'm going to call this one Koi Confetti. I'm kind of adding dark spots under the white spots to make it look like a shadow effect, since it's all on the water. I don't know if it totally reads that way everywhere, but it was an interesting thought. Just adding dark shadow areas here. Desperation and all that. One of these days I'll have to upload a video of complete failure where I have to just paint over it where it's not working. I don't upload that happens all the time, but I don't upload them simply because it feels very anticlimactic, but maybe I can make something out of it. Because I do think it's important to show that perfection is not all it's cracked up to be. It doesn't, it's not something to strive for. You basically want to get as good as you can get. Beyond that, it's just not worth pursuing. Get as good as you can get, but don't stress over becoming perfect. So that's about the end of this painting. Like I said, I left it and came back and realized that no, it's pretty much finished, and I like the end result. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this painting process, and click the like button at the bottom if you enjoyed it yourself. I appreciate it.